Hey everyone! Today we are going to talk about your next steps as an admitted student to ECU as a part of the Pirate Promise program. So the screenshots that we're going to be reviewing briefly today are simply part of your admitted student checklist. So everything that I go over is going to be a part of that admitted student checklist if you want to follow along. Two things to keep in mind is that the things on this checklist are not necessarily in chronological order, so you don't necessarily have to do one before the other. And secondly, most of them are going to be housed either within your ECU email or within your Pirate port. So first off, we have activating your Pirate ID. So your Pirate ID is going to be located in your Navigator portal. It's typically going to be part of your last name with maybe your first or second initial of your first name. And what you'll do after you've grabbed your Pirate ID from your ECU application portal is you're going to go to pirateid.ecu.edu and you're going to activate it. And once you've done that, you're going to create your passphrase. And this passphrase is what you're going to use to log into your ECU email. So your Pirate ID is the first part of your ECU email, and then the passphrase you create would be your password that you use to log in. So of course, after you have activated that Pirate ID, you're going to go ahead and log into your email for the first time. So mymail.ecu.edu is where you would go to log in to your ECU email. Alright, something really important that we get a lot of questions about from our transfer students specifically is how do I see what credits have transferred into the university? So as an admitted student, you would simply go to your Pirate port and then you would click on Banner Self-Service, the Student tab, and then Student Records. And then you would see a button right here called Academic Transcript, which will display your unofficial ECU transcript, and it will reflect any transfer credits that have been received and applied to your record. This is an example of what that might look like. As you can see, there are a couple of transferable courses over here, the grade that the student received, and how many hours were applied to their record. This is a screenshot of the DegreeWorks portal. The DegreeWorks portal is within Pirate Port, and this essentially shows you your progress toward your academic program. So as you can see, this example student has 40 required credits and 39 of them have already been applied. So if you do have any transfer credits, they would also populate in your DegreeWorks as well. Right here, transfer credit, and then the grade. And again, these are all located within your Pirate port. Alright, so submitting your enrollment deposit is really important for admitted students. This might be the first thing that you do because you actually cannot register for classes or secure your spot as an incoming ECU student without doing this. So to pay your enrollment deposit, it's typically about $100. You're going to go to Pirate port, and then I would go just ahead and search, or you can scroll down and type in tuition statements. And then what you would do is go ahead and click on deposits and then select the term that you're trying to deposit to. Now keep in mind this deposit actually goes toward your own tuition bill. And once you've done that, you will have secured your spot at ECU, and you are going to be making progress toward being able to register for courses. All right. So most students have verified their residency before they have joined us at ECU, but if not, if you're admitted and you haven't verified your residency, that's totally okay. You do have time to do that. You would just go to ncresidency.org. and they'll provide you with an RCN number. And what you would do with that RCN number is you would send it to us and make sure that we have added it to your record. And the two emails you can use to send us that RCN number are listed for you right here. And this is for tuition purposes, of course. So if you are an NC resident, this is what you would be doing. Orientation is a super important part of being an admitted student. We want to make sure you feel comfortable and know exactly what to expect as a part of Pirate Nation. So we're going to return to our friend in Pirate Port and go to orientation. And that is where you're going to register for orientation. And this option is highly required and suggested, if not required, for freshmen and transfer students. And this is just a screen of what it looks like to register for orientation. All right, so moving on to registering. This is, of course, something that we get the most questions about. So if you have not registered for classes yet, just keep in mind you do have plenty of time to do that. Typically students are admitted to ECU, almost 6 months to 8 months before classes start. So there is a little bit of time for you to get everything done in your admitted student checklist before you move on to advising. So depending on if you're a freshman or a transfer student, this process might look a little differently. Freshman students typically are going to use our peer quiz and are going to go through the peer process to register for classes, and that's where you will get your advising pin. Transfer students may not need this pin to register for classes, but something that is always going to stay consistent is your advisor is always going to be able to help you through the process and answer questions. So it's important to know about this website. It's advising.ecu.edu/advisor contact list. And this has the contact list for every single advising center at ECU, along with their email address and phone number. To actually register for classes, you're going to go back to Pirate Port into Banner Self-Service. You're going to go back to your Student tab, and then you're simply just going to go to Add or Drop Classes. For financial aid, so you're going to just stay in Pirate Port. You're going to hang over to the Financial Aid tab that is right beside your Student tab, and you're going to look at your award. So this is if you have submitted financial aid to us already and you're looking to see your package. If you are someone who has not submitted your FAFSA yet, you would of course add ECU as a recipient on the FAFSA website. And typically our award packages go out in early to late March for the following fall term. All right, so housing. So as you guys know, or you may not know, housing is required for freshmen. So you do need to live on campus your first academic term here at ECU. Transfer students is not required, but you definitely can live on campus if you would like. You're just going to go into Pirate Port and click on Campus Living. And that is where you're going to see the Campus Living contract. You're going to go ahead and put your deposit down. And you are going to put your top 3 preferred neighborhoods that you would like to live in. Now, if you do want assistance with finding some off-campus apartments, you definitely can check out offcampus.ecu.edu. They have a bunch of resources that can help you to find a really affordable, close by, wonderful place to live, and they're going to get you where you need to go. All right, moving right along, guys. We're almost done right here at the end, but if you are taking any classes on campus, so if you are not an online student, you are going to have to submit your immunization records to us. And it is relatively easy to do that. This is run by Student Health Services, and you can submit your records in a bunch of different ways. You can scan and email them. You can bring them to the office. You can upload them into your Pirate chart, or you can mail them. All the Student Health Services asked is that please just don't send them in several ways. So just pick one and upload all of your immunization records that way. And this is the direct link if you wanted to follow along. It's studenthealth.ecu.edu/submitting-records. All right, last but not least, guys, is student health insurance. So all students are required to have some sort of health insurance. Typically, they are still under a parent or guardian's health insurance. So many of our students choose to waive out of this. There is a deadline to waive out of it before you are charged, and it is put on your tuition. It does change every year. So this would be for an example of last year, and then of course this year's might look a little different. But that is something that's going to be on your admitted student checklist, so you don't have to, keep reminding yourself. Those dates will be made available to you. And it's a very simple process. You simply just go to the Student Health Insurance Plan website and you go ahead and waive out of the Student Health Insurance Plan. Just keep in mind, this is going to be one of the last things that you do. You do need to go ahead and be a registered student here before you complete this step of your checklist. All right, my friends, so that is essentially the admitted student checklist, your What's Next guide as a Pirate Promise student. If you have some questions, head on over to admissions.ecu.edu/enroll/transfers or email us at piratepromise@ecu.edu. Have a great day and go Pirates!